Watching it all unfold for talkSPORT, your host, Adrian Durham. Hi, Aid.
How you doing, Paul? Andy, good to speak to you. I'm live in Leipzig right now. Just travelled from west to east, so I'm in Leipzig for Portugal, Czech Republic tomorrow night.
Oh, that should be good. First sight of Portugal. You've had a little bit of time to reflect. I was listening to you guys in the aftermath of the game last night. I mean, how are you viewing it now in the cold light of day? You've had a few hours to digest the performance.
We've been deliberating, digesting and cogitating the performance. I have to say, my prevailing thought is, thank goodness we won it and we kept a clean sheet. So there's positive thoughts there without a doubt. But I think there's so many things to analyse from the game. It would be remiss of us. It would be a dereliction of duty if we didn't dissect some of the negative points of the game as well. But I don't want to be overly negative because we did actually win the game. So let's get that out there. Let's preface it all by saying they won the game. They're top of the group. It looks like we're going to qualify. That's got to be a positive. But if they play like they did in the second half, gifting control of the game to the opposition in the way they did to Serbia and just letting them control the game and trying to bank up defensively against them, better teams are going to find out that it's easy to score against us. They should have scored. Tadic with a lovely little poked through ball to Jovic, who, had he controlled it, had a goal gaping for him. So he miscontrolled it. We got away with that one. That was the only really big chance that they created. So England, I think, got away with it last night. You could point to Harry Kane's effort. He was slow with his substitutions. Didn't get the best out of Phil Foden. Couldn't solve that problem and couldn't wrestle back control once Serbia took control after about 35 minutes. So there's a lot of issues, I think, for Gareth Southgate to sort out. But they won it.
Yeah, it did feel like it was going to be a typical 1-1 tournament opener for England.
Yeah, because they were going to get caught.
We've
had an awful lot of feedback on Foden. We were just chatting to a City fan earlier on about it. One of the listeners says, why is it down to England to get the best out of Foden? Why can't Foden get the best out of Foden when he plays for England? Surely, if he's as great as we're told, he should show up and be at it regardless of where he plays, which is something sort of Cesc Fabregas kind of said last night. The same Bellingham next in the Denmark game next to Rice, still more than capable of getting into the box from there. Foden in the 10, Gordon and Saka wide. Problem solved. Is that problem solved for you, Aid?
No, not really. I think it's what we saw last night. Bellingham going deeper means that I think the whole team gets more defensive. It kind of gives control of the game to the opposition. I think the key to England having control of the game is Bellingham being advanced. That's my own personal belief. And people will have their different opinions about it. In terms of Foden, I think it is up to Gareth Southgate to get the best out of him. But I do kind of agree with what Cesc Fabregas said, that, if he's a player with really big personality, like Jude Bellingham is, then he will grab hold of the game. He will take the game by the scruff of the neck. He will do the magical things we see him do for Manchester City, and he will impose himself on the international stage, which he hasn't yet done in his career. I love Phil Foden. He's absolutely fantastic to watch. You know what he can do with City, where he's playing with better players, admittedly, you would say. Man City, 9 times out of 10, 99 times out of 100, probably would beat England if they were in a game together. But he's got to find a way to be electrifying and impactful for England on the international stage. Now, Harry Kane didn't look 100% fit. He hasn't been 100% fit. Now, if he wasn't to start a game, could you put Bellingham as a false nine and Foden behind him? Possibly that's a solution.
Interesting. Stan had an interesting solution to it all.
Yeah, we'll play you that. We spoke to Stan Collymore earlier on, a former England and Villa striker, of course, and he was talking about sort of restructuring to get the best out of Foden, and there was one notable omission. This is what he said.
The elephant in the room, Bukayo Saka. I'm sorry, he didn't play very well for England yesterday. He wasn't the only one, but he didn't play very well. So for me, it would be Declan Rice as the one holding midfielder, Trent on the right, Bellingham, Foden, and a proper left-sided winger that can go past people and put crosses in the box for Harry Kane.
There we are. That was Stan a little bit earlier on.
Interesting thought.
Yeah. No, I mean, we've had a lot of pushback, mainly from a lot of Arsenal fans saying Saka was no good.
Yeah, listen, Arsenal fans are the kings of pushback. I mean, I do marks out of 10 for every England player on the website after the game. I gave Declan Rice a 6, and you'd think, I'd burnt Declan Rice at the stake. I mean, crikey. It was unbelievable. I know what Declan Rice can do, and it's a lot more than he did last night. In terms of Saka, He was brilliant first half, lost duels at the start of the second half and faded badly. So he had half a game, really. He got a sixer as well. I can't wait for the Arsenal fans to come and get me for that one. So I kind of understand where Stan was coming from, but he did create the goal. You know, and he did ruin fullback in the first half. So that was what I wanted on the other side. And what was really interesting in commentary was Stuart Pearce saying that after 28 minutes, and this is in commentary live at the game, Stuart Pearce said what he would do was take off Phil Foden, bring on Eberici Eze, and say to Eze, just roast your fullback stroke wing-back. Just push him back, take him on, push the ball past him and run, dribble with the ball, just cause him immense problems as Saka was doing on the other side. Because it was the kind of game, as it panned out, where you needed left and right to be going at the fullbacks, and England could, by half-time, have got a 2-3-0 lead, game over, and you end up resting players for the last half hour of the game. As it was, we were hanging on. Kane played 90, Foden played 90, Bellingham stayed on longer than you'd like. And I thought it was fascinating from Stuart Pearce. It's substitutions, earlier substitutions, becoming a fashion maybe in the next few years in football is something we're going to be discussing on our next England show, next time England play.
Yeah, it's amazing that Foden got 90 because he definitely needed to come off.
And that's a good point by Stuart, because it completely shifts the initiative. We lost the initiative in that game and we needed to try and get it back, and a player like Saka would have done that. Although I think his subs were good. You know, we saw Bowen create a chance straight away. Gallagher did really well. He was asked to do a job and he did it really well. So I don't think he got those wrong, but you're right, he could have been bolder, couldn't he?
You know, Paul, what you're saying there is right. The subs were good, but by the time England made their first substitution, 68 minutes, Serbia had made 4. Only one of those was because of injury. So they had really responded. Yeah, they're 1-0 down, but they'd responded to what was going on in the game to try and get the game back in their favour. England just didn't respond, and it's something that's been levelled at Gareth Southgate time and time again against a better opponent. The way that game panned out, I think England might have lost the game. That happens in a knockout game, quarter-final, semi-final, we're done.
Tell you what I did like. When Trent Alexander gave away that...
the bad pass to Vlahovic had the shot.
The next 3 times Pickford went long, and I thought that's a really good thing to do. Don't encourage them, you know. And we won the ball, and we won good position from it. I think that's going to come more and more in modern football. You can't just always play it out from the back.
Especially when you've got Harry Kane up top and you've got someone you can aim at.
Yeah, I think with Jordan Pickford as well, one mark I think I did get wrong was Jordan Pickford. I gave him a 6 and possibly... did I give him a 7? I can't remember now. He deserved a 7, whatever I gave him. But anyway, I thought he kept a clean sheet, and it included making a save and claiming balls as well. But there was one pinged out pass to the right-hand side early second half that was absolutely world-class. But it was what you're talking about there, his game management, knowing what to do at the right times of the game. I think he's becoming more and more crucial. He's already the undisputed number 1 for England. Gareth Southgate trusts him totally. But I think he's becoming more and more crucial. If England are to go all the way, which is obviously what we all want, it's what the players want as well, then I think the way Jordan Pickford manages his own game in terms of going long, going short, determining, him dictating what's going on there, I think is crucial.
Do you expect, I mean, the fact that Shaw didn't even come out and warm up yesterday would suggest maybe he might get some game time on Thursday. But I mean, would you be making any changes? Do you expect any changes, Adrian, for Thursday?
I expect Gareth Southgate to pick exactly the same team. Obviously, it depends on Trippier and how fit he is, because he did go down, although he carried on. So we'll see how that is. But if everybody is available that was available yesterday, I think he will pick the same team. I think largely because they won. And maybe that's another little flaw that, possibly not a flaw, but something that Gareth Southgate should think about. You can change a winning side. I mean, it is possible to do that. You can even make substitutions when your team is winning. So I just think that he needs to have a look at the opposition a bit better and determine whether he wants wingers to be flying at defenders, whether he wants to be more bold in midfield or with more men in midfield. I think you've got, for a tournament especially, you've got to pick a team that will beat the opponent. It sounds simple, but just keeping with the same side every time doesn't always work. The caveat to that is Sarina Wiegman kept the same side every single time at the Euros, and England went and won it. So that's maybe the blueprint.
Excellent. Maybe. Good to talk to you, Adrian.
Adrian.
Enjoy Leipzig. We'll catch up with you later in the tournament. Thanks a lot.
Auf Wiedersehen, pets.
There we are. There's Adrian Durham there. Portugal in action tomorrow. We've got Belgium tonight, of course.
Oh, yeah.
Hawksbee and Andy Jacobs, Monday to Friday afternoons 1 till 4 on AM, on DAB, via the talkSPORT app and on your smart speaker. talkSPORT.